Hello, everybody. Welcome to another Winner Circle Sports Betting Podcast. Sean Higgs coming at you here. It is Wednesday, the old WINS day. We got Scott Pritchard coming in, a little pinch hitting here for Brian Bittler. Matt Fargo, as always. We'll be talking some college hoops action here for a Wednesday night. Before we get to that, though, hit the like, subscribe, notification bells on so you know each and every day we come in here with our free pick videos daily. Live football, the last Football Friday live will be this weekend with the Super Bowl, but then going forward, it'll be a college hoops potpourri. It'll be whatever we want to talk about on a Friday. It could be all over the joint. You never know. On Monday, me, Chip, and Doug did 25 minutes talking about the floppy trade with him getting Luka in there, so you never know where the show could go. Again, leave a comment. Let me know what you think. You don't like the picks? Sure. But leave your pick ahead of time. We say this all the time. Don't come in after the fact saying you stink or terrible. I like this game. These are up by noon. You can leave a comment way before the game's final. All right? So like, subscribe, notification bells here on the Winner's Circle YouTube. These are the free picks. We went 2-1 last night with college hoops. All right? We are 17-15 with our free plays here. But they're free. It's kind of like going to Costco. You want to try their little thing that's for free? Who knows? You might get diarrhea. I don't know what you're eating. It's free. How many hands are touching that stuff off the counter? I'm just letting you know. You want the good stuff, what do? You buy the stuff in a sealed package that's not contaminated. There you go. Get our premium picks. Those are our best plays. Go get them. Simple as that. 3-7.30 a package is guaranteed because anybody could get hot for a day or two. But the three of us, again, like I said this yesterday, we got probably 60-something years betting. We know a thing or two. We've win on over those long-term days. We could have a hiccup, but that happens. If you're really betting, you're going to lose a day or two. That's why you get a long-term pass. Much better. And if we don't show you a profit, we credit you back and you could get on with the same guy. You can go somewhere else. You could use the leaderboard. That's pretty simple. We don't hide. Win or lose, always between the hiding from the records. We got the day pass, which in Matt Fargo's case today is great because he's got 6 packs up, 6 packages, not a 6-pack. He's loaded with college hoops and NBA today. So good day pass for him. I see our guy Scott has a triple play pass up, NBA, hockey, and college basketball. He's got them all covered for you there. I got college hoops today, a 3-pack. So there is that at gamblersworld.net for the premium action. And who knows? Maybe we'll have a little something special going for the Super Bowl, maybe some kind of cash giveaway, some kind of little thing. Be on the lookout for that if you're not following on the Twitter world. We'll scroll it across here on the bottom here with the Twitter for you to come like, follow, subscribe, that kind of notification bell on the Twitter world for our little. I think it's gonna be kind of like a prop kind of giveaway there. So you want to get involved? Gamblers_world on the X. Now, Matt Fargo. Apparently, there's some kind of EMP went off. There he's back. Matt's back with us. Hopefully, he's back. There you go. Gentlemen, how are you? I'm going to start with Scott. And listen, we got the Super Bowl coming up. I know you and Chip are going to be doing a show. We've talked about your future ticket here with KC and the Eagles. Just give us a little sneak peek because you and Chip will be talking about that on Friday. And let us know how you've been doing, what you got in store, and all the good stuff there, Scott.
Well, life is good. Just a quick reminder. I've been doing a lot of radio, TV, talking about the ticket October 9 at the Circa. I bet an exact that the Chiefs beat the Eagles at plus 55 to 1, 4,000 to net win, 220,000. So I've been busy hedging, finding reduced VIG, finding good numbers on Philly plus 2, reduced VIG, Philly plus 3, minus 144. I see Circa has minus 185, Westgate minus 188, but I was able to get plus 3 minus 144. It's a nice little hedge. And I'm not done. I do respect this Philly team, but to your point, Sean and Matt, on Friday with Chip, I'll be talking about value betting with props, PROPS, props.
That'll be with Chip Trimmers on Friday. Again, you don't miss out on that. Chipper comes in, and maybe Chip will give you this day in sports. Maybe it'll be something good on a Super Bowl or maybe some signing of old hacksaw Jim Duggan or some nonsense from 1846. Who knows? I love this day in sports with Chip. It's great. Especially when he'll throw it to me when it's like 1992. He says, Sean, you remember this, but then it's like 1957. It goes right to Doug. Like, hey, Doug, remember this? Doug's like, no, Chip, you're older than me. I don't remember 1936 signing. Oh, man, always good stuff. Matt, my guy. How are you? How was your night last night? What do you got going on today? Your Blue Jays, Santander in the house. You're excited?
Yeah, we'll go on about that a little bit later.
Max Scherzer.
I'm not too upset about that. A reliable number 4 guy. When I say reliable, I mean I hope he doesn't get hurt. But worth a shot. You never know.
Yeah.
If it was 5 years ago, I'd be more excited. But right now, number 4 guy, number 5 guy. I think it's worth a flyer. And I was reading about where, he is good friends with Polar Bear, so maybe that could egg Alonso along. I doubt it, but that'd be a nice little one-two punch for a couple late signings to head to spring training. But keep hope alive. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Coming off a 4-4 night last night, 4-2 college hoops. Unfortunately, an 0 in the NBA. Lost to the Mavs by a half point. So that was unfortunate. But coming back tonight with 5 college hoops games and a 3-pack in the NBA to keep our streak going. 78, 59, and 4 over the last 18 days, 14 of which have been profitable. So, as you mentioned quite often, hop on that one-day pass, save yourself a lot of money, as opposed to going the individual route for $69.99.
Yeah, I had a good college basketball day. I think I went like 6-2 or something. But NBA loser. I had the Raptors.
That was a tight one.
I took the Clippers, thinking the Lakers are depleted and just bad. I got the NBA and hockey. I kind of just dip my feet in a little bit, feel the water compared to the volume I do in college hoops. But it did like that frustrating. I just kind of throw away 6-2 day by going, 1-3, 1-4 in ice and NBA. So get back to my bread and butter here with college hoops. That's what I like.
Yeah, I was on the Clippers. I was on the Clippers last night as well. Basically the same reason you just said. I figured they're coming off a road trip, big win at MSG, finding out the news about Luka.
Yeah,
you wasn't sure what mindset they'd be in, and apparently they were pretty fired up. Coming off a big win.
You have nobody inside to protect the rim, no rebounder, and you go out and you just destroy a team.
Right.
I don't know. And then we had a trade a little earlier today, Kuzma and Middleton for the Wizards and the Bucks. I don't know if that really moves the needle a little bit. I mean, for Milwaukee, I think you're still behind Cleveland and Boston there in the East. I don't know. Scott, big NBA guy. What do you think?
Big NBA guy is right, because I'm a big guy, period. I have to tell you that, like the two of you, I was on the Clippers, and whenever I'm betting the Clippers, I understand they don't have a coach. Ty Lue has no clue. Coming off an embarrassing loss to Toronto, now they're at home, Intuit Dome. On my way to Thailand after the Super Bowl next week, I'm actually going to see the Grizzlies, a stacked, underrated dark horse team in the West. They're going to go in there and hand their asses to them because the Clippers don't have any leadership. The one guy I do like is Jeff Van Gundy. He actually brings some defensive prowess to the team. But to your points, I had the Clippers first half money line minus 220. At tip-off, it was minus 250, 30 cents the best of it. I was looking good, feeling good until the game started. And then, of course, Ty Lue is incapable of X's and O's and in-game adjustments. So it's like, dude, are you going to make any adjustments whatsoever? And Sean, you brought it up. They don't have a rim protector. They don't play any defense. Davis is gone. A couple of other guys are out. And they just steamrolled the Clippers because they're gutless and they're heartless. And the Clippers do what they've always done. They lose. But I'm the fool who bet them. But hey, misery loves company. I'm glad you guys were on board with me.
We were three big losers. The 3 blind mice. Yep. We fell for the cheese trap there with the Lakers, and we did. I mean, we all thought the same thing. Who's rebounding? And what are they doing in the middle? You're gonna attack. No. We're not gonna do that. Ty Lue has no clue. I love it. A freaking that's it. I hate, whatever. I could rant on that all the time when you think you got a good spot, and then, like you said, you had a good numbers. I didn't have a good number. We were laying touchdowns. But when you have a good numbers and it gets even better, you're thinking, all right, things are looking good, right? People are moving in. I'm ahead of the curve. You think you got a shot. And then it was early. I'm like, look at this. I think they were like 15-7 and like 2 or 3 minutes in. I'm like, oh, look at this. Nice fast start or something. Yeah, all right. Nope. Nah, it's short-lived. Halftime, I'm like, you got to be kidding me. I went to bed at like 10:30. That's a lie. I went out, I watched TV. I was like, I'm not watching this nonsense. Turned on Netflix or Hulu or some nonsense I was watching. But let's get back to where we've been making money for everybody here in college basketball. And we got some Big Ten. We got some SEC. Again, 2-1 yesterday in the free picks here, folks. These are the free plays. Premium stuff at gamblersworld.net. Go get that stuff. That's the goody stuff. Those are the goody drum tops. Free pick wise, 17 to 15 college basketball. Again, 2-1 or better. People don't like 2-1 or better. You take that all the time. I don't know why you wouldn't. Yeah, 3-0 sweeps would be great. We're betters, folks. We gamble. We want to just grind out wins. So that's don't be upset over 2-1 day. We're not telling you to parlay this stuff. Do what you will. Please don't parlay them. Illinois and Rutgers. Scott, we're going to go back to you here. At the rack, not the rack anymore, at the Jersey Mike's Arena. I think that's why the Rutgers Scarlet Knights are 11-11. They changed the name of this great facility. This is a team that was ranked to start the year, a lot of hype. They got a couple of players, lottery-type pick guys in the NBA, this nonsense start the season. 11-11 here, catching 8 at home. Big number. High total, too, as well. When you think of Rutgers, I think of Rutgers as like some kind of 65-63 kind of team. Never really good. They have covered, though, of late. Covered versus Michigan against 6.5. Covered versus Michigan State getting 8. Beat UCLA outright getting 4. So the home cooking has been working for them here. Illinois, you feel comfortable laying an 8 spot with the Illini here on the road? It's a big number. Big number. Total is a 156.5. Get it, Mr. Pritchard.
You can change the name of the arena, but as you and I both know, you cannot. A zebra does not change its stripes. They are who they are. And yes, lately they've been decent at home, but the fact is this is a bad defensive team. How bad? I'm glad you asked. 72 points per game they give up. Actually, I take that back. They give up 38 points per game inside. Nationally, that's 180th nationally. And defensively, overall, they rank 125th. Ohio State, as an example, they got 42 second chance points, which is a ton. The good news is they have a good young backcourt, but the operative word is young. They do have a couple of question marks on with the injuries. But as far as the bad defense that I initially said, they give up 72 points per contest. They are 8-3 at home, but that's beating up on weak sisters. To your point, Sean, they are 11-11 overall. The point spread is 8, Illinois on the road. I do not like laying points, and I hardly ever lay points on the road. I'm leaning on the total, and I'll give you my play in 1 second. But let's talk about the Fighting Illini, my friends. Illinois 15-7, currently ranked 23rd in the country, coming off an 8-point win against the Buckeyes of Ohio State. They came from behind to win 87-79. I love teams that play defense. I love teams that are not sexy. This team is not sexy. They play good defense, and they rebound the ball. And as you and I know, Pat Riley knows a thing or two about winning championships. He says no rebounding, no rings. So a top 10 3-point defense, only giving up 29.4% on the perimeter. They have size, they have rebounding, which plays right into the weakness of Rutgers. In fact, how good of a rebounding team are they? Number 1 in the country, 53 rebounds per contest. And I just mentioned that the Ohio State Buckeyes scored 44 points on second chance points. I like the under 156.5. See the cashier.
Under 156.5. Scott Pritchard, official pick here for our Wednesday show. Matt, what do you think about this one?
Yeah, I could see that for sure. Scott brought up some good points about the Illini defense. They're number 7 in effective field goal percentage, number 2 in rebound rate, and the thing with Rutgers, I like he said, I don't like laying points on the road, but Dylan Harper is questionable again tonight. He's probably not going to go. He's been out the last 2.5 games roughly. They played a great defensive effort against Michigan last time out because the offense basically didn't show up. They scored 63 points. I think they got 23 points from the starting five. So without Harper, who's been phenomenal this year, there's no offense. And Scott brought up against this defense, I don't think they're going to be able to do anything. So yeah, I would lean to the under. I would also lean towards Illinois, but I'm not going to lay a big number on the road. The rack has always been good throughout the years, but in this spot, man, they're just shorthanded. So looking at a side, I can't really look at either at this point. But the under looks like the play, as Scott mentioned, for sure.
Yeah, I was the same way, torn on a side here. I kind of want to take Rutgers there, but they've just, I don't know, something about them. You came in with a lot of hype this year, and this is what you get. Come on, New Jersey. What the hell are we doing here? You can't get the football team on track. You can't get the basketball team on track. You got a guy who's going to be drafted. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm glad I moved. What the heck? There's more heartbreak. Snow, slush, whatever. I shouldn't say that. I did like New Jersey. Anyway, under 156.5. Official pick here. Moving on to another Big Ten matchup here. Matt Fargo, we're looking at Oregon Ducks, Michigan Wolverines. Here's another one. 8.5 point line in this game. 153.5 in total. I mean, Oregon's not too shabby. What do we got to do here? 16-6, 4-2 on the road. Granted, they lost to Minnesota. They got a couple 1-point wins here at Penn State. 2-point win against Ohio State. Michigan, we've talked about it. New coach, new attitude, playing well, undefeated here at home. No covers last 5 games though for these guys. So they haven't covered. They were favorites in 4 of those matchups. So you think you're going to ride that little trend, but then look over at the Ducks and they're in the same kind of thing. They haven't covered anything in 6 in a row here. But a giant number like this, maybe this is where I want to take a giant dog. It's granted it's not the home dog, but on the road here, it's I don't know. Oregon's played tough a little bit. Is it worth a shot here with the Ducks?
I believe it is. As you mentioned, Michigan has failed to cover the last 5. Well, Oregon's failed to cover the last 6. So neither team is cashing any tickets right now. So that is pretty much a wash. Looking at Oregon, they lost 4 or 5. And honestly, the last 3 losses have not been good. Minnesota, UCLA, and Nebraska. I think it's a good bounce back spot. I mean, this team has won 8 quad 1 games this year. They've beaten some great competition. Again, the UCLA loss was a bad one. They lost to UCLA twice this year, and that's been their biggest. The biggest issue has been at home. Surprisingly, 3 of the quad 1 losses have been at home. One against UCLA, one against Illinois, one against Purdue. I think it's a good spot. I think the number's too big. As far as Michigan goes, 10-0 at home, no doubt about it. They've been playing great there. What we talked about like a month ago on the show that. The new coach has, definitely energized his team, but they've taken a step back, it seems like. And, their 3 quad 1 wins have come against Wisconsin on the road, which is a good win, but that was way back from the beginning of the season. And the other 2 against UCLA and USC on the road. So I think they're laying 20 points here at home. I think we see a close game. I think Oregon is live for the win. Coming off those 3 consecutive losses, they'll be fired up to get back on track here. And I definitely like the point spread. The plus 8.5 for the Ducks in this one.
Plus 8.5. Oregon Ducks. Matt Fargo official show pick. Plus 8.5. Again, 2-1 yesterday here with college basketball. 17-15. These are the free picks. We got the Rutgers Illinois under 156.5 from Scott. Matt is going Oregon plus 8.5. Both guys here. If you head over to gamblersworld.net, our sponsor, plays are up. The day pass is in play here for Matt with 6 different packages up between college and NBA. Scott's got a 3-pack up of NBA hockey and college hoops. Go get them at gamblersworld.net. Make the smart money move, people. The free picks are great, but premiums are up. Scott, what do you think about this one here?
Well, I have to say that I've learned in life, Sean, that you do not question God and you do not question Matt Fargo. And I think that's because Matt, based on what he just said, is a handicapping God. When in doubt, take the points. After listening to Matt, I'm not in doubt. I like the points. Ducks plus the 8.5. See the cashier.
And I'm with you. We'll make it a trifecta here because, as you said, lost 3 straight, 4 or 5, not playing well, and you're getting a nice chunk here. And again, we look back to Oregon early. This is a team that on the neutral beat A&M, San Diego State, and Alabama all in a row. This is a good, capable team. So, again, you get into a conference play, and it's a new conference too, folks. So let's, we got to put a little star. They're not playing their usual thing. They're traveling to the Midwest. They're going to the East. They're all over the place. Second time through here. You've already been to Minnesota. You've been to Penn State and Ohio State. So this is a third trip in here. Maybe a little more accustomed to it. It's not new. It's not, the travel, whatever kind of nonsense they're used to dealing with. Is the third time a charm? We're going to find out. I think 8.5 is worth a stab as well. So all three of us will be looking at the Ducks here plus 8.5. Now, my game, we're going to head to the little SEC. It is for me and Tennessee. I've had these guys a couple times here in the show. We've done totals. We've done just taking them as a dog. Now, here they are as a favorite. 9 points here over the Missouri Tigers, total 135. And as I mentioned, we've taken an over here with these guys twice. I think it was Syracuse and somebody else. We had overs. We took them as a dog, or I did. I think Matt was covering them against the Gators, and he was all over Florida. I'm like, I don't know. I got to take the points there with the Vols. That was a loser. But now I'm going to go against them. We're going to be taking Missouri plus the 9 here. Tennessee's a really good team, right? Both you guys really dive into the statistics on them, defensively, prowess, and all that, and we can bring up the KenPom numbers, all that good stuff. They're a very good team. 18-4, 12-1 at home. Big number like this, though, I look at, they cover 12 versus Georgia. They cover 12 versus Arkansas. I think Missouri's better than those teams, right? And so we got a big number here. You didn't cover the Kentucky game, which was bizarre. Kentucky kept losing guys, and you just kept shooting 3-pointers for whatever reason. It was, I don't know what that game was. You're off a monster win. You got your payback on Florida, right? I mean, you crushed these guys by 20. Florida couldn't fall out of they couldn't fall out of plane and land on a mountain in Rocky Top. They were terrible that game. So now I think it's a little letdown spot here. You're feeling good out of a blowout. I got Missouri's coming in. These guys, they've covered 7 of 8 here in the SEC. So they play up to whoever they're playing. They win. Again, they're 17-4. They're taking care of business a little bit. I'm not falling for the old banana and tailpipe or thinking it's too big a number. I think it's a good spot with Tennessee off a big payback win. Missouri's been competitive in all their games here. You're going to give me almost 10 points. I'm going to lean to it and take the dog here. Missouri plus the 9 points versus, and I like Tennessee, but I'm going to fade them here, plus 9 for me. Scott Pritchard, you're going to dog it up, or are you going to come in with a total here?
I feel strongly that if you take the plus 9 on this line after the game, you will be feeling fine.
You're a poet and don't even know it.
Here's the thing. I'm a critical, independent thinker, but Sean, respectfully, I've been following you for years. When you speak, I listen. So if you like the dog plus 9, I automatically love the dog plus 9. I don't know what else to say.
Probably should have married you instead of my wife. I'd be a lot more happier here, just going to tagging along with everything I say. Listen, we throw out the games here for free picks, folks. We're not always going to be on the board, and we're not even going to like some of the matchups. And obviously, Scott's probably got no real opinion on this one. He's like, he's not going to get here laying 10s. He doesn't like the dog. It's fine. That's what we have 3 guys on for. We're going to give you an opinion on it on all 3 games. Matt, what do you think? Anything on this one?
Yeah, I mean, I would lean Missouri on this one. Reason being, I think Tennessee coming off that Florida win, there's a big revenge game for them. They got beat down by Florida by 30, I think it was, in the first meeting. So that was a big game for them on Saturday. 3rd home game in a row now, going the road against Oklahoma. So it's kind of a sleepy spot. And Missouri's been flying under the radar this year. They've gotten all the way up to number 19 in the net ranking. Nobody saw that coming at the beginning of the season. Nobody. 17-4, 6-2 in the conference. 4 quad 1 wins, not great, but not bad. Not bad at all. Like you said, they cover 7 of 8. Definitely a big number. They've won 2 straight quad ones. One on the road against Mississippi State. The first big one came at Florida by a point. That kind of turned some heads. It's starting off right away. So yeah, I would lean towards the big number. Tennessee, they covered big against Georgia, Mississippi State, and who was the other one at home when they were laying the big number recently? Arkansas. And all 3 of those teams are, ranked much lower than Missouri right now. So, they can win the big games, by big margins, I should say, against the lesser teams. But I think Missouri is going to give them a challenge here. I think it's a letdown spot, and the points look very tempting here for the Tigers. Mizzou.
I know a lot of people don't believe in like the letdown spots and look at kind of spots of college hoops, stuff like that. But I'm a believer. A team whoops you by 30 when you're number one. You were number one in the country, and you lose 74-42 or whatever the hell they lost. Yeah, mind you, they had that game circled. And also looking at the numbers here, they only shot 40% in that game, and they won by 20, right? Florida, 13 of 53 from the field. Just utterly ridiculous. 4 of 27 from 3. They didn't play their best game. And now you're coming in here. I think it's an inflated line based on that huge win. And you got all the air out of your tires. That's a game you wanted to win. I'm going to take the dog. I feel confident about it, even though Scott's not totally behind me. That's all right. I got 1 out of 2. That's 50%. I'd be a Hall of Fame. I'd be the best player in baseball if I was hitting, 500. So, things are looking bright here for me on the show. All right. Quick recap here. Missouri +9 for me. Free pick. Matt Fargo, underdog Oregon +8.5. Scott Pritchard's going total under 156.5. Illinois and Rutgers. These are the free plays for Wednesday, 5th. 17 and 15 with the free picks here. If you want our premium action, head to gamblersworld.net. I've mentioned it several times here. Scott's got a 3-pack up. Matt's got several packages up. Day pass is the way to go there at $69.99. I have a 3-pack of college hoops up where I'm number 2 in the money. Bittler came and got me again. I think I went 6-2 yesterday. Bittler goes 3-0 and he catapults me. Unbelievable, that guy. He just, I'm if I just move like one game off of like a small, like they're all the same graded for me. Rate them. I don't bump around. Man, that guy. He's starting to piss me off with his 3-0s every day. That guy can't go. How do you 6-2 and I don't make up any ground? That's frustrating. Anyway, listen, we got the leaderboard. See how everybody's doing. Scott Pritchard actually number 1 for the last 30 days in college basketball. So I should be mad at him as well. Thanks. Make the job that much harder. Iron sharp as iron, as they say, folks. And we got you covered here at gamblersworld.net. 13 great handicappers for you. Winning long-term, daily, monthly, and yearly for a lot. I think you add up everybody on site, we're well into centuries. Multiple, probably centuries with some of these cats. Long time, a lot of experience. Gamblersworld.net. Be sure to tomorrow check out. We have NBA. Football Friday. That'll be a live show. Mark Lawrence, Victor King. Tip and this man, Scott Pritchard, on Friday. We'll also be doing NFL Super Bowl show or props or whatever they're going to take care of. Who knows? Maybe other cappers coming in as well, giving a little piece of advice on what they're looking at for the Super Bowl. Be sure to check it out. Gamblers_world on the Twitter. Give it a follow if you haven't already. We got a cash giveaway coming up. Who doesn't like free money? Might have to make some burner accounts. No, I'm okay. They don't do that. That's not fair to do. It's for you, the viewers. Get over there, follow Gamblers World on the X, the Twitter world, and we will see you on Thursday, tomorrow. I don't even know what day it is. Look at me. Well, I'll see you guys in a couple days with football, but anything you guys want to add heading out of here?
One thing I'll say, because you brought up, and the whole world's talking about Luka for Davis, Davis for Luka, but I tend to have a unique take on most things in life to provoke thought, and no one has said what I'm about to say. There's someone that I feel really, really, really bad for with Luka going to the Lakers, and that would be the refs. Are you kidding me? The world's biggest crybaby, Luka, and the world's second biggest crybaby, LeBron, on the same team. Whenever they get fouled, which is every single play. They look like they're constipated. The frowning, the complaining, the technical. So to me, Laker fans are excited, but to me, it would be torture and painful to watch. And I know where Luka gets this entitlement victim mentality. It's his dad. His dad said this week, it wasn't fair what the Mavericks did. This is wrong. They betrayed my son. Wah, wah, wah. Are you kidding me?
Maybe if his son didn't weigh what I weighed, they take him a little seriously. Let's be honest. That is based on they don't want to pay him the money. They've been on him for his weight. And in Texas, those guys are trying to get a casino built out in Dallas, and they're not passing legislation. They're taking his team to Vegas in 2 years.
He had a weight problem last year. Okay, he couldn't wait to get to the NBA championship, number one. Number two, he wasn't 100%. And what did he average in the finals? 35 points a game. The guy's a 5-star, rock star, superstar. I don't care how you want to sugarcoat it. Nico Harrison is incompetent, and he should be shit canned.
No disagreement there. I mean, the kid's 25. 25 took you to the finals last year with a joke team. And listen, Kyrie's really good. So, I mean, he gets a lot of flack. But it's just an unbelievable, like, earth-shaking trade when you think about it. Like, who?
Well, they went on the road. They went on the road against the Clippers and won. They went on the road against the number 1 seed OKC. They went on the road against Minnesota, world class, kicking ass, and they had some challenges, but it wasn't because of Luka. The guy averaged 35 points a game, and losing to the Celtics on the road, there's no shame in that. So you run it back, you come back, and so for them to do this secretively in the middle of the night or late on a weekend night that no one knew about, I just can't believe it, but a big part of me really doesn't care because I just want 2 teams on the floor. Give me a number, let me bet, and hopefully I'm going to win long term.
I get to get AD. He's probably the best superstar you could have got straight up. If you're looking to rebuild, you would have went outside the box and got a bunch of draft picks. They probably still think, hey, we got a guy who could score 30 a game, and he is averaging 30 a game, just differently. And he's, you got him and Kyrie. Maybe it's a good. Who knows? Like the around the bound talent is still kind of there in the depth.
Here's what I know. Here's what I know. You've got a 25-year-old stud in the prime of his career who's been all NBA for 5 years. Again, he's 25 years old, and they traded him for a porcelain 31-year-old. Every other game he's out, Anthony Davis. To me, it still doesn't make any sense. None. Zero.
It does when they don't want to pay him.
Well, there has to be more to it. Like you said, they don't. The Supermax was coming up. They didn't want to pay him because I think part of it, he's not in shape. And one of the biggest questions is, this guy just picked up the phone and calls the Lakers, and that's it. Like, did they reach out to anyone else? I haven't heard much about any other teams being involved in this. They could have gotten so much more, I think, if they had gone elsewhere. As Scott mentioned, getting Davis. Yeah, Davis is a good player, but he'll give you 60 games a year, and they got one first round draft pick along with it. They could have gotten so much more, in my opinion. I think there's more behind it. I don't know if it's going to come out. It's a weird situation, in my opinion. The fact that you could send a 5-time All NBA player who's not even in his prime yet. It just doesn't make any. It just doesn't make any sense to me. It really doesn't. I don't know how. Go ahead.
I say Davis is under contract till 2028, so he's got a couple of years left after this one. He's got 2 years left, right? 3 years left. Ugh.
Let's talk about. I don't want to interrupt. Go ahead, Sean. Sorry.
I was going to say, like, this year, I could see them saying, you know what, we're going to go with the bigs and try to win with Kyrie and the bigs. Or maybe they got something else. Maybe they'll trade one of their other big guys and try to get some more shooters around. I mean, they could just be like, we could still win with this team. I mean, if Anthony Davis is going to be tiered with LeBron, I'll play with Kyrie. I saw Kyrie win a championship for LeBron. LeBron didn't win that championship. Kyrie won that championship in that series. So he's still a good player. He's still got a guy. Listen, they're not Luka and they're not LeBron, but they're still two solid guys. If you get another kind of shooter in there, a good guy, I think this is still a solid team, honestly. But go ahead.
They're ninth in the West. Okay, they are ninth in the West. They're fighting for their lives to play in a play-in. Lively, who I love, Duke University product. He is a man amongst boys. He's out till April 2nd. So yeah, they're big, but the problem is you're weak. Very weak, no depth at the guard position. You've got an antique over the hill, broken down mule in Klay Thompson. I like PJ Washington. Gafford is average on his best day. So it's Kyrie. And, without LeBron, Kyrie made one shot. Yeah, he's a good player. He's won one championship, which is one more than me. And I don't play basketball. And I certainly wasn't paired with 5-star, rock star superstars like Kyrie has been. But he's a little erratic, a little inconsistent. He has God-given ability, but now there's a difference. It's not a two-headed monster. It's Kyrie and nobody else. They already gave up the face of the franchise in Luka Doncic, but let us not forget another stud starter, Derrick Jones Jr., who was a star amongst stars last year when the Mavs had that run. So, yes, on paper, Lively, Gafford, Davis, but like I just said, Lively is out until April 2nd, and you have no depth, no backup guard position. Klay Thompson has been past it for 3 years. He stayed with the Golden State Warriors just based on loyalty and professional courtesy, but the guy is a bricklayer at this point. He's a poor man's version of Angel Reese or Russell Westbrook.
Do you think Max Christie kind of steps up for them there? He was kind of scoring a little bit for the Lakers.
Again, average at best. Not to say that he won't be a difference maker down the road, but hey, it's about winning today, and the West is stacked. Is it possible both of these teams are worse? Heck to the yes. Look at the Lakers. You've got an alpha dog, ball-dominant player in Luka joining another ball-dominant alpha ball handler in LeBron. They play the same position. How did that work with the Clippers with James Harden and Russell Westbrook? It didn't. And plus, who's going to rim protect? Who's going to rebound? Who's going to play defense? They were pathetic defensively with Davis. So, again, the Lakers down the road in the future, they're going to build around Luka. The future is bright. It's exciting. The Mavs, they're saying they're about winning now. Well, guess what? You're not going to, for an encore performance, you're not going to get back to the NBA Finals. You're going to fight for your lives to play for the play-in. OKC is clearly the best team in the West, followed by my Memphis Grizzlies, followed by a young, inexperienced, no playoff experience Houston Rockets. The Denver Nuggets are overhyped, overrated, no defense, no bench. Russell Westbrook is in your starting lineup along with Michael Porter Jr. The Clippers have the talent, but they have no leadership and no coach. And then we can talk about the Lakers. We can talk about the Mavs and the also-rans.
It's crazy how stacked the West is. Which, again, why are we going to pay a guy $350 million if we're going to be, again, he catapulted them there last year, but was that more of a fluke kind of run? Because you had a inexperienced Oklahoma team, a Memphis team, a Minnesota team, young guys who look good, and the team has good, but they weren't at that next level yet, where we think the Thunder, and I think the Thunder are the team to beat right now. I mean,
do you think Dallas will make a run after Durant? I think they might. I think that maybe was part of the plan. I think they'd have to give up Thompson. They'd probably have to give up Lively. They might have to give up maybe even what's his name, Gafford as well. Is it worth it to get Durant in for a year or two to make this team win now? Because he would be a piece. He would be a piece they would have to have. If they want to win now, they need somebody else. They're not going to get it done with this core of.
They have to. I mean, they need another scorer. You can't win with two guys.
Right, exactly.
Two guys who are 32.
This is not the 2017 version of Kevin Durant with Golden State. The dude's 36 years old. So to give up Lively and Gafford and Thompson, to me, that's insane. I mean,
I agree. I agree. But that's what they're talking about. That is one of
All
the
three of those
rumored
guys, or are you
trades.
just throwing out? I thought you were just throwing out names for like a combination to somebody. They can't trade all three of those guys.
That's exactly one of the trades I saw.
Goodness.
It's between Phoenix, Dallas. It's a 5-team trade. 14 trade. Yeah, the Suns will get Thompson, Gafford, Lively, 2000 first round pick from the Lakers. Mavericks would receive Durant, Valkanusis, and Bob Klintman. No clue who that is. And then a couple other teams involved with the Wizards and Pistons getting some, second tier guys. But they would be giving up a ton to get Durant for maybe 2 years. And then
that guy hasn't played. He doesn't play full seasons as it is. That guy.
Right.
I get giving up one guy like a 1-on-1. You're going to go for it this year. I get it. It's all about winning, right? You win one, it kind of appeases for a couple of years. You're good to go. The Rams traded guys. We won a Super Bowl with Stafford. We're happy. That you can live with that. I don't know if I could live with giving that up for a 36-year-old.
The Suns would make out huge.
The Lakers get the guy Volusius from Washington, right? In that, because that's who the Lakers want. You're helping the Lakers again. What do you? I know the guy was friends with AD back in his Nike days and Pelinka. That's how it worked out because they were buddies back for Nike, whatever. But now you're just going to give him Volusius too and give up your young talent. What are you doing? You should be getting KD and however you say that cat's name from Washington. What are you doing, Dallas? Oh my goodness. Well, I don't even like the NBA. But I can get hyped up. I can get ranted up about it though for this kind of crap. That's for sure.
It'll be interesting. The next few days will be very, very interesting to see where this goes.
Yeah, the trade deadline Thursday. We're inside of 24 hours, noon Thursday, so we will know sooner than later. But Jimmy, I don't want to play Butler. He doesn't want to. One of my least favorite players. He's been a cancer everywhere he's played, and he's played his way out of the system everywhere he's gone. He has an opportunity to go to a contender, and he says, I will play anywhere except Miami. The next time I hear him talk, I'll play anywhere except Miami and Memphis. The next time I hear him speak, I'll play anywhere except Miami, Memphis, or Milwaukee. The next time I hear him speak, I'll play anywhere except Miami, Memphis, Milwaukee, and Golden State. So I guess any place not named Phoenix is where he doesn't want to go. Big time prima donna. And again, I believe the guy's mid-30s, so his best days are behind him as well.
Would you do a Durant for Butler straight up?
I'm not a GM, and I don't usually have these conversations because I lose interest because there's no right or wrong answer. As I was on a radio show a couple of years ago, and the broadcaster asked me, okay, halftime of that game last night, what would you have told the team? I said, dude, I'm not a coach. I'm a handicapper. So it doesn't freaking matter what I would say, and I'm certainly not a GM. Again, I don't care if it's two kangaroos in a foot race. If I have an informational advantage and a competitive number, I'll bet it. Nothing more, nothing less.
Would the kangaroos be in a foot race, or would they be like jumping?
They might be hopping, but if you can find a fast foot race kangaroo, now that's a true unfair advantage.
If I'm telling the team at halftime, I would have been like, I got money on you guys. You're pathetic. What are you doing? Come on, cover the number. I don't care what happens. Can somebody score? I don't care if you're shaving points. I just need to cover here.
If I was a GM and I had a team in Las Vegas, I guarantee we may not win many games, but I guarantee you one thing: we'd cover that number.
We've covered every game. I see. If I'm not GM either, but if I got a guy who wants to get out and says, like, trade me, I'll trade. I'll get a guy. Butler wants to play for me. I'll take him. Because at that point, what are you doing? You're trading one 30-year-old guy for another. Where's this team going? You traded for Bradley Beal, who's never healthy. Your team is Booker. You tried to put guys around them. It's failed. I had an over win ticket on these guys. Terrible. The Suns. I thought.
Well, they started out like a house on fire, 9 wins, 2 losses, but Beal has been a complete bust, and you can't trade him because he has a no-trade clause. But on paper, this team looked good with the big 3, Beal, Booker, Durant. Nurkic is no slouch, but he's a multi-million-dollar talent with the 5-cent mind.
Well, he's in the doghouse out there. They don't play him. I mean, it's ridiculous. You brought in a coach who I like because he shoots the three a little more, and then you brought in the point guard, which was great, right? Take the ball out of Booker's hand, let a point guard distribute it to these guys, and he'll have, Kevin Johnson type 12 assists a game, right? I mean, you got two guys who could score at will. No, that doesn't happen.
Well, I don't like
another reason why I don't like the
Budenholzer.
NBA.
Budenholzer is a poor man's version of Ty Lue. He's had talent everywhere he's gone, or a poor man's version of Doc Rivers, and he coached his way right out of Milwaukee. But if you're not going to win with Vogel, who is a good coach, you're certainly not going to win with Budenholzer. I don't care how much talent you have. He, again, poor man's version of George Karl, except George Karl would actually win when the games didn't matter in the regular season, but he couldn't do anything. He'd pull a Ty Lue or a Doc Rivers come playoff time.
I'm going to say you're talking this guy's like a poor man's Doc Rivers and Ty Lue. Doc Rivers is an absolute choke job, and Lue won in spite of himself because he had LeBron in one season or something. So I don't know.
It's just funny, like seeing all these names being thrown around, the trade deadline, all these 30-somethings, Butler, Durant, and you throw some of these other guys in, Julius Randle, Buddy Hield, name after name after name. When it's all said and done, these guys are competing for second, third, fourth place. It's going to be Oklahoma City in the West. Doesn't matter. Going to be facing either Boston or Cleveland in the East. What's the point right now? These teams are not going to improve that much by getting Durant or getting Jimmy Butler to make a run at Oklahoma City or Houston or Memphis in the West. Not going to happen.
I'm looking.
We've had some great comments during this show, but Matt takes the prize. That you summed it all right up right there. I mean, OKC, the class of the West, and perhaps the class of the entire league, they have my money to win the title and to win the West, even though I've got Memphis at plus 28-1 to win the West, just because they have so much talent. They are so deep. They've got a chip on their shoulder. So I think that's one team that could present some problems for OKC, because as good as OKC is, they have struggled on the inside, but that's not even a fair statement for me, because Hartenstein and Chet Holmgren, their two big stud centers, have been out a ton of games. So to your point, Matt, I'm with you. OKC is the class of the West and perhaps the class of the league.
OKC, I don't think has a guy who's 30-year-old on their team. Well, they got one guy. They got Alex Caruso is their oldest cat on the team. I mean, if I'm the Lakers, like I said this yesterday. I said on Monday, I'm trading LeBron. I got the 25-year-old Luka. You want to get young out here and have young, just good young guys. Like Memphis is deep. OKC's deep. Houston's pretty deep for a team that just came out of the blue. Right? I mean, they could even get better. Why are we stockpiling 30-year-old guys like Zach LaVine? I don't know. I saw that show in Chicago. It didn't win anything. So it's going to win in Sacramento with a bunch of teams that are already better than it?
I want to back up and talk about the Thunder again, to Matt's original point, because you're talking about a team. They are number one defensively. They are number one in steals. They shoot a high percentage from the free throw line. They get to the free throw line. They've got the MVP, the best basketball player on the planet, in Shea Alexander. But I'm talking about this team's on-the-ball defense. Going into the season, according to GMs, the top on-ball defender in all of basketball, Dort, plays for OKC. Statistically speaking, the number 2 on-ball defender in all of basketball, a guy by the name of Alex Caruso, now with the OKC Thunder. And right now, the third best on-ball defender on the perimeter in the league, Cason Wallace. Oh, by the way, he plays for the Thunder. So this team is stacked. They're loaded. They're a small market team, but they are world class.
They're good. I mean, listen, last year I thought they're going to get there. All right. You got upset. You got upset by a great player, a hot team. Now you get to take that step forward. This is the time. Like you said, them in Memphis, young, deep, just good star players, not role players in Caruso, but guys who do the tough work, right? You want the rebound, the on-the-ball defense, the hustle guys. You need that. Teams need that. I mean, people forget they just want a bunch of superstars in their position. No, man, you need the quote-unquote glue guys, the guys who are going to do that rough stuff. OKC's got it. I mean, they got it in spades, man. They're good. again, why am I trying to stock up on 30-something-year-old guys in a division where it's OKC, Memphis, and then Houston's on the rise? Again, I know you hate Anthony Edwards, but that team still, I think, is not terrible. Joker still can lead that team. He's as good as anybody out there. And then you got the also-rans. Then you got your Kings, your Lakers, your Warriors, your Suns, a bunch of Hall of Fame guys on the tail end of their careers. Why? Where are you going with those teams? Forget about them. No.
We talked about we're all pretty high on the Houston Rockets, and for good reason. I love their coach, and the team has bought in, but they've struggled here. They've lost 2 of their last 3 games, namely because their leader, Fred VanVleet, has been out. The stud from Australia, Seguin, has been out. Last night he came on, but they were on the road against Brooklyn last night, and it was horrific bad beat for the Houston Rockets. The Rockets were up 4 with 9 seconds to go, gave up a 3, turned it over, gave up another 3, D'Angelo Russell, and they lost the game. Are you kidding me? But that goes back to my original point. The Rockets, as good as they are, they're young, they're unproven. So respectfully, I cannot take them seriously come playoff time, although they're as good as anybody on paper.
D'Angelo Russell, that guy just loves averaging 20-something points for bad teams. Talk about it.
So true. It's so true.
Like, look at his numbers. He went, he's always on like the Lakers, the Nets, and like Minnesota. He's like the same 3 teams he goes to, the Warriors. Like, he's just rotates through a couple teams, and yes.
Yeah, that was an embarrassing sequence last night for Houston. Like, you could have switched uniforms for those 2 teams, and you would have thought that was Brooklyn who committed the late turnover after the 3 and then another 3. But no, it was Houston, which didn't see that coming. But man, that was back-to-back losses against Brooklyn. Oh, not good. Not
but
good.
you're coming off a Knick game that you kind of blew that game late, so you knew it would kind of be a low-scoring kind of affair anyway. But you're young. This is what young teams do. It's kind of like you got to have your stepping stones. You got some bad losses.
Exactly.
Learn a little bit. Maybe they get knocked out in the second round this year, even the first round. Maybe somebody upsets them, and then they come back and they do their thing. How about the Nets? We got to get out of here. We're an hour. Well, the good thing is that we talked about all this after we did the picks, because yesterday someone was like, I had to wait 25 minutes before we got to the picks today. The Nets are a 2-point. They were a 2-point dog, and I think they're a 3-point favorite here against the Wizards. Is this a spot where you just kind of ladder up the Nets up to like 10, 15 points? Like, the Wizards don't show up today, and it's a 105-83 win for the Nets. Like, I could see that happening.
Both teams are in tank mode. Both teams have no talent. Both teams are playing for the future and lottery picks. I mean, Brooklyn last night, they're a bad team to begin with, but then no Simmons, no Cam Johnson. They've traded away other talent. You have D'Angelo Russell and nobody else, but the only thing Russell does is force up contested 3-point fadeaway shots, and 1 out of 10 go in. And he did have an open look, and he did knock it down, and he's a hero instead of a 0 for one day.
He's only scoring 13 points a game for Brooklyn this year. 15 points on the season.
Yeah, they're a bad team. They're a bad team, and the fact that they beat a good Houston team not once but twice, I'm shocked.
Here we go. He started with the Lakers, 15 a game, came to Brooklyn, 20 points, Golden State, 20, Minnesota, 20, 18, decent role player. To the Lakers, 18, back to the Nets. This is only played for he's equivalently, he's the guy, he's like the added guy in all these trades. Like, we'll put in a 20-point score for you. There you go. Talk about a guy who scores 20 a game in the NBA. You know what? In 15 years, they'll be like, oh, the guy should be a Hall of Famer. Look at me. He's so consistent. This is like the stuff I see on Twitter about like baseball players. Look at the consistency here. He averages 20 points. He is the epitome of, are you kidding me? This is a Scott Pritchard. Are you kidding me? This is him. This is the NBA. Are you kidding me, guy? D'Angelo Russell. Unbelievable.
He's the epitome of nobody wants him around the locker room.
It's true.
That's what it is.
He basically said, didn't he say, I like playing for the Nets because I can just score and do what I want here? Didn't he say that the other day about getting traded? He's like,
I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah.
That quote, what you just said, kind of reminds me years ago, Latrell Sprewell. This was many, many years ago, but the guy was so out of touch. The Minnesota T-Wolves offered him $14.2 million, which is $14.2 million in any other team. would offer him. And he looked the cameraman dead in the eye and said, I've got a family to feed. Dude, where are you taking your family to eat? The airport? The movie theater? I have a family to feed. And he never played again.
I remember that Latrell Sprewell thing. Yeah, I got a family. What do you fella? And then he went broke. You blew $150 million contract.
That also reminds me of Jim Calhoun, UConn legendary Hall of Fame coach, was up on infractions, and he actually said in a press conference, and I love this, they're so out of touch. He, on national TV, Calhoun said, listen, we might have broken a few rules, but we did not cheat. It's like, hello, I thought that was the definition of cheating. We might have broken a few rules, but get this straight, we did not cheat.
Did he say that?
He said it. Press conference, Google it. I'm not throwing darts at the board here. It's right up there with Clinton. Bill Clinton, I did not have sexual relations with that woman.
We may have broken rules. Let's see.
We may have broken a few rules, but we did not cheat.
Here we go, 2019. Yes. Well, it's hurtful moment, but you don't even have to like me. That's fine. But I'm not a cheater. My program never cheated to get where it's gone. All right. Unbelievable. Oh, my God. Yeah, 2019 here. That's what it says.
Google it. Yeah, his press conference. Google it. It was awesome. It was great.
Higgsy, back to your original point. I'm not putting your money on Houston nor Brooklyn.
Okay. Oh, actually, does this go back to 2011 maybe? That might have just been an added article. This is the 2011 they talk about it. Yes. Yeah, March 2nd, 2011, Oklahoma recruiting phone call. Recruiting phone call. UConn coach assistant. Coach, are you okay? Calhoun in the background, moaning. That's what it says. It says moaning.
You don't have to look far. People, because I do a lot with social media, and people say, how do you come up with your material that's fresh and humorous on a daily basis? And I say, are you kidding me? Every day. You can look to the news, but every day in sports, these coaches, these lack of game planning and strategy, and these quotes, you don't have to look far to find good material, boys and girls.
How about these wacky college hoop fans 12 years ago, a post, trophies aside, you're a disgrace, Calhoun. No respect for you. I mean, really, the guy put UConn basketball on the map. You don't have respect for the guy? Oh, my goodness. Oh, listen, we can go on and on forever. Whoa. Scott's like, I'm getting out of here.
He's had enough. He's
Scott's like, wait a second. An hour, I got to go. We'll wrap this up. If you stuck around this long, you are a diehard, and you know what? Write into OSGA and ask for a free premium play for sticking around for an hour today. So there's that. Let's see how many people watch the whole video. See, Jim, let us know if we get any emails tomorrow about that. Let's see what happens.
We'll see.
Missouri +9, under Rutgers 156.5, Oregon +8.5 for a Wednesday college hoops day. If Seth was here, he would have shut this off 45 minutes ago, but he's not backstage today. So there you go, folks. Hit the like button. We've talked so much, we got to buy water to wet our beaks here. I'll be back tomorrow with Chip Chirimbus, Doug Upstone, NBA. Matt Fargo, my guy, good luck, and I will talk to you soon. Thanks for watching, everybody.
Absolutely. Good luck, everyone.
Take it easy.